Hi, I'm Leonie, and today I'm talking about 10 things that you really don't need in your closet. Now, these are the things that are taking up space, they're causing confusion and clutter, and just generally making it much harder to get dressed each day. So if you'd like to find out the 10 things that you need to move out of your closet today, then just keep watching. Now, usually we all have too much underwear, and before you start thinking there isn't such a thing, just hear me out. What I'm talking about is underwear that doesn't fit you properly, bras that you don't like, pieces that have seen better days. Usually we hang on to underwear way too long and we end up with a drawer that's bulging at the seams with loads of stuff in there that is just not going to get worn. But the problem with that is it causes confusion and it makes getting dressed each morning so much harder. Imagine if we only had pieces in that drawer that we could pop on and feel great in. So think about that. You probably have loads of underwear in your drawer that really doesn't deserve to be there. So if you've got those sorts of pieces, it's time to move them out. The other thing that we should really consider moving out more often than we do is loungewear. Now, what I mean by loungewear is things like comfy tracky pants and old t-shirts and things that have passed their use-by date and they're not good enough to kind of wear out of the house. And they sort of become relegated to our loungewear where we sort of just schlump around at home in them. But often what happens is we end up with too many of these pieces and we only really wear maybe one or two different looks for our kind of really casual lounging around. But we end up hanging on to a whole lot more than we actually need. So it's time to go through those loungy pieces that are really kind of ready just to be donated or to maybe even be thrown out, and move them out because we just don't need as many as we usually have. Another thing that we often don't move out of our wardrobe very often at all is costume jewelry and accessories. And so I'm talking about statement earrings and necklaces and maybe cheapish handbags that we've bought, or scarves or bracelets, or statement kind of fashiony, or sunglasses is another one. Statement kind of fashiony pieces that we haven't spent a fortune on but we're no longer wearing, and generally we're no longer wearing them because they have gone out of fashion and they're not the most current look anymore, or we don't wear them, or we never really liked them. So have a really good think about some of those accessories that really could be moved out and moved on, and someone else can enjoy them, so don't feel bad about it. The other thing that's really easy to accumulate a lot of is activewear, and it's quite hard to part with a really great pair of tights or some running shoes that have seen better days but they've still got some miles left in them. So it's probably a good idea to go through your activewear and really ask yourself the hard question: do you really need 10 sports bras? Do you really need 5 pairs of tights? How many of them are you wearing? If you're only wearing a couple of those sets, well then it is time to donate them, move them out, or do something with them. Just not have them hanging up in your wardrobe or in your drawers and cluttering and causing confusion. My two favorite words in this video. The other pieces that we often don't move out fast enough are those pieces that we really love and we're really attached to, but they have seen better days. So a classic for this is things like logo tees and band t-shirts and trusty denim jeans. They're the hard-working staples in our wardrobe, but we sometimes lose sight of the fact that we've actually worked them too hard and they're really starting to look a little bit worn and pretty far from their best. So sometimes it's really important just to take a really good hard look at some of those key pieces. And yeah, if you do wear them all the time, maybe it's time to go out and repurchase a few new pieces. Those favorites get worn all the time, so don't keep wearing them past their use by date. This one almost goes without saying, but I am going to bring it up anyway because we often fall into the trap of hanging onto clothes that are not comfortable. And just think about it, like shoes that are just too tight or have never been comfortable to wear, but we may have spent a whole lot of money on them, or pants that look great and are super stylish, but really they are just super uncomfortable and you can't enjoy yourself when you're wearing them. These are kind of fashion mistakes, I suppose. We've bought them because we love them, or they're in style and fashion, or they're real trend pieces, or for whatever reason, but we've kind of made a fashion faux pas here. We've bought something that is really ultimately never going to make us happy. If we're screaming in pain, you can't feel great about yourself. So if you've got some of those pieces, whether it is a pair of shoes or pants or whatever it may be, if you love them but they hurt you, well, they need to go. This one's a bit of an oldie, but it is a goodie, and it's a really important one. If you have clothes that have sat in your wardrobe for a year or more and you haven't worn them, then they really need to be moved on. So if they're really good pieces, you need to give them to someone who will wear them, or if you really cannot part with them, perhaps you need to just pack them up and store them somewhere safe. The fact of the matter is, if they're hanging in your closet, they're actually just taking up space and they're making life harder for you. So if you haven't worn them for a year, the really good rule of thumb is that you're probably not going to wear them. So you've got two choices. You either re-gift them, and that's to a friend, or donate them to charity, or you box them up and store them somewhere where you can keep them safe, but they're not causing clutter in your wardrobe. And then of course there's the sentimental pieces, and these are things like wedding dresses, bridesmaid dresses, 21st outfits, engagement party outfits, all of those special occasion pieces that we hang on to without any real intention of wearing them again. Now, you really need to think about, if you have those pieces in your wardrobe, what are they doing there? Is there a better way for you to store them? Could you pack them all up together and maybe put them somewhere that's stored safely, that you don't have to see every day? For me, I'm probably not emotionally attached to clothing, so it doesn't make sense for me to have those pieces hanging in my wardrobe. And I suggest, if you're not hugely emotionally attached to them, but they're hanging there and you are not wearing them, then you really need to come up with a plan to move them out. And then of course there's the pieces that just don't fit you anymore. Maybe you bought them, that classic buying something because you're hoping that you'll lose weight and one day you will actually fit them. Take a good long look at those pieces, and if you do have clothes in your wardrobe that don't fit for whatever reason, move them out. You don't have to be looking at them and being reminded of them and the fact that they don't fit you every single day. It's not good for your soul, so move those pieces out too. The hardest pieces of all to remove from your wardrobe are the pieces that are hanging there and they still have the tags attached. And these pieces are the ones that I think cause us the most anguish. We've bought them with good intentions, and at the time they seemed like a really good idea, but we've never worn them. We haven't even taken the tags off. So the idea of getting rid of these pieces is super hard and quite emotional, but it has to be done. And now is a good time to do it. We're heading into a new year. We're wrapping up this year. Start 2018 with a clean slate and get rid of those pieces. And you know the drill. You either donate them, you give them to a friend. It's not all bad. It's not like they're being thrown away, but if you haven't worn them, it's highly likely you're not going to. It really is safe to say that they are the hardest pieces to remove from our wardrobes because they feel like the biggest mistakes. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would love you to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.